Welcome to the official Munzee podcast.
I'm Rob, also known as Coach V, your host and the president of Munzee.
And I'm Craig, also known as See My Shell. I'm an avid Munzee player and I'm here to explore the game further.
Each week we'll delve into Munzee's mysteries, divulge some secrets, and inform players from around the world just what is coming your way.
So sit back and relax. Today's episode, we're going to talk about eggs and campfires and cactus injuries. Rob, you wrote this. I'm just reading it now live as we speak.
Yeah, geocac injuries.
Oh, you're talking about that. Yeah, fair enough. Before we start though, Rob, I can see you face to face.
This is scary.
Like, I can touch you. You're not on a computer screen anymore.
Yeah, don't touch me though.
And we have two audience members as we recording this live as well. We have Joshua, the geocaching vlogger.
Yes. And there was much rejoicing.
And we have another guy here whose name we say on the podcast very, very often. That's
the
MinnesotaBoy.
Oh yeah, MinnesotaBoy. Yeah. Welcome both of you.
Boys.
Some live pressure. Excellent.
Exactly.
One with cactus injuries, the other not. Yeah.
And we'll let you guess which one has got the cactus injuries, whether it be Tim, MinnesotaBoy, or Joshua, the geocaching vlogger. Meanwhile, Rob, what have you been up to this week before we actually make a start, mate? You come from Florida?
Yes. Went from sea level to, 8,000 feet or whatever we're at now?
7.5.
7,500 feet, yes. So I was at events in Florida, not events, only a single event in Florida on Saturday. It was a surprise, a secret event. At least that's what it said. It's a secret. And one of the people who was there didn't realize, but it was a birthday surprise.
Oh.
Her daughter and granddaughter and others kind of snuck in. So kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very hot.
Whose birthday was it?
Mrs. CB.
Oh, there you go. Happy birthday, Mrs. CB.
Yes, happy belated birthday.
Yes.
So it was a good event. They had cake. I'm always in for cake. Cake.
Real cake.
Walk around sweating, get yourself some cake. And then I actually did a little bit of geocaching while I was there. Yeah, because, now here we are in Flagstaff, Arizona. For Geo Woodstock, and so I needed to dust off my caching skills. So found a cache, which was fun, but then also found a snake, and immediately returned to my Munzee roots.
There's snake at Munzee place locations as well, Rob. It's not just, but in saying that, you don't have to put your hands in places to find a Munzee. Let's just say that, exactly. Well, mate, I've got a big question for you before we even start, because I've made my big trip around. I'm still in my car. I was at Minnesota with you guys as well, and the two audience members here as well.
Minnesota.
And every time I'm going to say audience members, are they going to clap? There you go.
All right. Firing up for you guys' live podcast coming up in a couple of days. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But meanwhile, so I've been road tripping, as we say, north to South Dakota, coming through. Now, Rob, I messaged you when I was in Utah because I found a campfire Munzee, and I'd never seen one before. So instead of messaging you first or, annoying you like everyone else kind of does as well, I actually went to the good old Googles and said campfire Munzee on Google, and it brought up it's a rare Munzee, Rob. Well, tell me about the campfire. If people don't know, it's basically, it looks like a Munzee. It's a campfire one. I clicked on it because I didn't know whether it was a virtual or a physical, because it's not square and it's not circle.
Right.
And so I looked into it and I went to click on it, but when you go to click on it, it's actually a square down the bottom. So I knew then it was a physical what to look for. Yeah. So there's only like 9 of them in the world, Rob. What's going on with those?
Yeah, something like 9 that are left. Wayward Nation, that's who they were deployed by. So it was like 11 years ago. This crazy group of guys somehow got in contact with me, I think through actually another geocaching vendor that we used at the time to make dog tags for us. They had a connection, so they sent me something because they needed to be able to put things out that could track where they had been.
Okay.
And so they were actually filming a TV show.
Yeah. Oh.
And they started in LA. And they made it to Moab, and that was the end of their journey. They were going across the U.S., So they made it from LA to Utah.
Okay.
There are some that are very difficult to get to at the top of like real decent climbs in Colorado, because I've gone for that one. I don't know how it was in Utah, but yeah, they had a really great plan, but it was the start that didn't go so well because they bought an RV to travel around in, and it pretty much looked like the one from Breaking Bad. And if you tried to drive that across the country, that's not going to fly.
And trust me, I've had car problems as well, and mine's not looking like that. Mine's half new, and I'm still getting car problems, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
In my experience, there was 3 actually in Moab itself, or 2 in Moab, and 1 just north of Moab. The one just north, that was there. That was fine. That was on a fence post, and it's as always, and everyone can understand this as well. You go to a location, if you're a geocacher or a Munzee player, but you go to a location, Rob, and this location was out in the middle of nowhere, like no one, nothing around. I'm like, yes, there's nothing around. I go around the corner in my car. There was a young lady, van lifer, by herself, parked up right next to the location, just randomly parked up. I'm like, as always the way, that person's sitting on the bench and the cache is underneath or Munzee's underneath. It's the same thing when you're in the middle of Utah as well. Nothing changes when it comes to that. But anyway, I didn't care. I got out of the car either way.
Yeah.
She soon just took off anyway. So I don't know if I was scared her or not, but anyway, I didn't talk to her. And it was on the fence line itself, and I capped it, and it was all done. I thought, this is good. Yeah. And I saw another 2 in Moab. One of them, I did see Dale and Barb had actually been there and put a write note on it.
Yeah.
Because they can't get to it. You can't get to that one there at all. So there's one there you cannot get to at all.
Oh.
And then the other one there as well, it's non-existent anymore. I found the location for it. It doesn't exist. I found the little where it was hooked onto the tree.
Oh.
But there's 0 cell service there either. So I can't even replace it because I'm outside the 300 foot, blah, 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 blah. So there's that one there as well. So that's the 2. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
Campfire Munzees, mate. Thank you.
Super cool, yep.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, mate, let's move it on to the events for this week itself, or events last week, sorry. In USA, we had 2 in Missouri, 1 in Alabama, New York, Massachusetts, Texas, and Florida. You were there, Rob. And around the world we had?
Around the world we had Canada, Hungary, Australia, and the ACT, and 2 in Victoria.
Wow, so there's 3 events in Australia. See, I told you,
Rob. It was a big weekend. Hey,
I told you, well done.
And spoiler alert, 1 this week as well.
Oh, there you go.
Honestly, Australia's taken off with events.
Yes.
Well done to your people.
Yeah, exactly right. And a big shout out to them as well. And this is the thing, people, whether you're around wherever you are in the world, if you're at a big, like other gaming events, just say that, you print out those free cards that are actually on the store and hand them out and show people how much fun now Munzee is, and you get more and more people into the game. The more people you get in the game, the more Munzees are going to be in the world for you to cap, the more points. You're going to end up on the leaderboard. So those on the leaderboard for Friday, we had Skindo at 287,000. Munzee Prof, as always, in second. He likes it there. 251,000. And Gun in 239,000. On Saturday, Rob?
Saturday, we had Jeffo 43, 509,000. Addis 429,000. Pazzoli 1, 409,000.
Oh, there's a couple of new names there too, I've noticed as well. Yeah. Sunday, we had Bowler, 480,000 points. And then second place to his wife, Bowler's wife, 356,000 points. And now, Rob, third place, very, very close to my heart, because this man I stayed with, he owns a farm in Pennsylvania. A big shout out to Da Truck, Dan Truckenmiller, his name is, 349,000, and it's his personal best so far because he lives on a farm, and normally there's not that many Munzees around him. I have built him a nice garden near his farm in the little town that he lives in and stuff as well. He is in a clan as well with other friends of mine. Actually, I think our audience members here... He's a referral. One of his clan members is a referral to Tim's.
Oh,
yeah, it's that one where I'm still salty about that referral.
Oh,
but anyway, we won't go there. Sorry, Tim. All right, current events for this week and coming up in USA. We are in Flagstaff right now.
We are,
and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in Flagstaff.
Yes. Well, so there's an extra one because there is one tomorrow night. So there's a Thursday. Here's a parking lot maze, GPS maze. It's in the parking lot, same location as that. It's a new one they just added. So yeah, it's actually 5 here this week. And
awesome. 5 this week in Arizona. We have Ohio, Missouri, and Indiana as well. Around the world.
Germany. And the one in Victoria, Australia. So
there it is.
It's part of the big little event. I don't know if you know those series, but yeah. Anyway, they've done them over the years. I've seen the name pop up. So.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Spread the word.
Large events coming up. We will say this as well. Obviously, the Flagstaff one, it was the one we were talking about for a long time. Meanwhile, we have Midsummer in New Forest, Hampshire in the UK, June 14 to 16. 48 now, Rob. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger as each week goes by. And don't forget, if you're a host of a growing event, please reach out to me, and we'll talk from there and try and get you on the podcast, because the birthday month is coming up, Rob. We said that last week or the week before. So, yeah, if you want to get your events in ASAP, especially for the birthday month. Now, Rob, we're going to make a start on this, because when I was in Minnesota, as you know, if everyone listened last week, people accosted me, Rob. They come up to me and they accosted me and they said, "Do you hold Rob accountable?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. Tell me more." And it was about the Cubimals and how you said that you're going to make all Cubimals bouncers.
Yeah.
And you said by the end of the week, and that was now almost a week ago. So I messaged you because I had three. Not one, not two, but three separate messages from separate different people, all from different countries, Rob. I'll even tell you that. All said to me, come Saturday. It was on Saturday and one on Sunday. They messaged me and said, "Craig, hold Rob accountable because they're still not done yet." So I messaged you. And now tell everyone else what you said to me from that point onwards in regards to the Cubimal bouncers.
Get a life. Oh, wait. No, that's not it.
No, that's what you said to me. No, the rest of the Munzee world. Like, put your professional hat on, Rob. What did you say?
My bad. I forgot. No, so what I said is that, I was like, oh, yeah, it'll be easy. I can set stuff up in the Redeem store. That'll be no problem. And then thankfully I did just a tiny bit of research first, because it turns out that the final 6, we don't have them built so that I could put them in the Redeem tool, but that is in the works now. So it will happen this calendar year.
He gives himself enough room now, doesn't he?
I'm not going to be dumb and say I'll do it this week anymore.
No.
Honestly, we're looking at June. So
okay.
It'll be June.
Yep. Yeah. There you go, people. So in July, message me if he still hasn't done it, and I'll hold him accountable again. So. As everyone knows, player first. Player first. Rob, the dragon. Now, I'll say this as well. I've seen on the Munzee water cooler in regards to Monroe's especially. She is a dragon trainer, like a huge dragon. And a big shout out to Sue as well. She does a great job out there as well. A little bit obsessed, but that's okay. We're happy with obsessed.
That's why I went,
exactly.
Because,
she is.
Always something.
So she's in the middle of almost like tornado season, Rob. Yeah. I noticed as well. There was having thunderstorms and lightning, very, very frightening. Oh, me, oh, my. And she's there on Facebook saying there's a dragon nearby that she was going to go out in that weather for. Like,
storm wakes you up.
Yeah.
You check the Munzee app.
Yep.
Your dragon egg is gonna hatch, and you go out in the storm. Sue. Okay. Mark, you let her right. Yeah. He drove her. She said, "Get in the car and drive me." So here we go.
He's got his own account, but he's not allowed to cap it. You see, he's got to drive her, and then she caps it on hers. But anyway, big shout out to Monroe's. She does a great job as well. Meanwhile, speaking of the eggs and the dragon eggs, I saw the dragon egg curates that we actually have now as well. I got 2 myself.
Good.
You have to get them and I got my 2 eggs. So, because I straight away used my crowbars and opened them up as soon as I possibly could, because that's the way I am, the kind of guy I am.
Right.
And I've got now 2 dragon eggs bouncing around. What's going on with the dragon eggs, Rob? You got more info for that?
Well, that all came out last week before the podcast went live.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it.
No.
Because I didn't want to tell you in advance what was going on. I really didn't. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen on like Thursday, but I'll just hold this news. So, yeah, this goes back to a lot of the stuff that we talked about with why are there cap-on points for the dragon eggs.
Yeah.
And they kept telling you and various other people, like, I don't know, hold on, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now we're there. So you get the cap-on points. People have noticed that it's not a ton of points that you get for this little dragon egg.
Yep.
No, this is all about the glory of owning a dragon egg. Plus, it's only 80 caps to open the crate.
Yeah.
So in comparison with a greenie crate of 100, you use 4 crowbars like
I did.
and me every time, obviously, as well. Then you only have to cap 20 to open it.
Yep.
Like that's nothing. So, so you get a spiral dragon egg. That's what's in the crates at this point.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave it at that and then say, one for $750 in the miscellaneous tab, and
Now, Rob,
those of you that are premium, you can get one from $650. So there's a possibility of 2 if you're a premium player.
most of us are, let's be honest. But Rob, again, are you doing the same thing again as you've done weeks past? And that is, things are going to pop up. This is Wednesday. We're recording it Wednesday night at 9:45 p.m. in person. We're recording this.
Yeah.
If this, Rob, I'm gonna hold you accountable again. If this now comes out as a blog post, because we're supposed to be reading the blog post tomorrow on Thursday before the podcast goes live on Friday.
No.
I'm gonna be mad because that's you lost faith and trust in me.
Only spiral eggs for this month.
For this month.
There you go.
This month.
Coming soon, maybe. Maybe there are other designs of eggs out there. Who knows? There's a couple that bounce around that are owned by the Dragon Keeper.
So what happens, here's a question for you as well, and I don't think this answered it properly on the blog post, I didn't see, but how many caps on your spiral egg before it cracks? And if it cracks, does it hatch into a baby dragon?
Oh, it's all the
same.
Everything's the same.
The same. So 10 caps.
10, 15, 20.
10, 15, 20. Yep, that's the way it works. But the person who caps it on the 10th time and it cracks into a baby dragon, do they take over ownership of that baby dragon?
You had the egg. Congrats. Well done. You nursed the egg, and someone else gets the baby, and then maybe, unless you're Sue, and you chase your egg, and you get your baby, and then you chase your baby, and you harass it enough that it comes back and becomes your elder as well. Hey.
She does.
She drives.
Yeah.
Drives to chase her own stuff.
2 hours each way for one, but anyway.
Good for her.
Exactly. If that's what you want to do, that's what you need to do. Okay, so the water cooler is correct then, and that is they are pretty pricey for what it is. You don't get the whole dragon, you just get the egg by itself. So there you go. So really you're paying for the notoriety of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not getting any badges, you're not getting that sort of stuff, you're just getting the spiral egg.
Are there no badges yet? That's weird.
There you go. See, the audience heard it here live first.
the audience has an eyebrow raised of imagine that.
Exactly. See.
Now,
I'm not the one saying it. Yeah.
You're not even going to be the first person who heard about this next thing that we need to talk about. While you were getting everything set up for this recording, I was talking with these guys about the this new deploy reward event.
I'm just reading it now as you were speaking to me. So.
I could actually have our guests talk about it, but I'll do it instead. Mainly because it's written in front of me here. We there's been a lot of conversation about, hey, mailbox owners, you've got a bunch of cards. A bunch of people have a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
What if we set up some of our tools to do things in a slightly different way? Because how, maybe you don't know. But across the May the 5th, May the 4th, all of those different mechs, they were giving out some random prizes. Some people, and I'll even say PJ is one of the people who specifically noticed that he received cards from cap-ons of his temporary virtuals.
Oh.
They're not doing it right now, so I don't mind saying it. So we have little secret things that have been happening in the background from time to time.
So I ask you a question then. Did he pay PJ his pants in the correct way that time?
He did.
There you go.
And he sent in a support ticket with I don't know how I got these I think they were Wish I Was Here cards.
Yeah.
So he got those as rewards, as cap-on rewards from temporary virtuals that were at the Minnesota event.
Oh, okay.
So I just said, and you can see it because it says in your activity and your history.
Exactly.
So we've taken those thoughts and the way that the cap-on rewards, like surprise wheel and that kind of stuff, how those work, and turned it into a deploy tool. So we are having a big deploy event.
Oh.
A deploy reward event. We're talking about it right now. And the blog hasn't been written, so I'm not using the same words possibly because I'm not going to be the one who writes all the words for it.
Okay.
This is going live on Thursday, so as people are listening, this is Thursday through Sunday this week.
Yep.
You have a chance of earning a stamp. So you deploy a card, and you could immediately receive a stamp from that.
Oh, so
a stamp is
another card,
just
basically.
Another card.
Yeah, if you've got cards in that redeem store.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guaranteed, everyone has one that they can redeem now. I've gone in and
fixed
done
up
something.
a few things.
So guaranteed, there's going to be one person who doesn't have it.
There you go. So. And if there isn't, send in a support ticket. Rob at... No, I'm joking.
At support.com. There you go. No, so that's what it's all about. So this is a different style of that. And, you know, there's... the event is going on now. The largest event that's happening right now as people are listening to this and as we are sitting, you know, together, just happens to be where we are. So throw us some cards and see if you get some stamps from it.
So I've got a question.
It's a chance.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a chance. No guarantees. Right. It's just a chance. Yeah. No, you're not giving us a percentage at all, Rob, are you? But if there's a chance, does that mean, if I get this right, if I'm speaking it through, you know, what I'm just heard, and that is, I deploy a card on, say, tomorrow, the 23rd, whatever date it starts. I deploy a card. I get a chance to win a stamp. I actually win a stamp. Yay, me, go me. I then redeem my stamp for another card. I go straight away and deploy. And then, look at that. I get another stamp, and then I keep doing that cycle until I don't have... So, Rob, there's a possibility where I could, you know, put out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards for this price of one?
Yeah.
Wow. Get your cards out now, people. Get your cards out.
You're making me rethink it.
No, don't.
Maybe I'm going to make all kinds of changes.
No. You keep it as it is.
We did. It's like it's like a hall of mirrors type thing, you know, where it's like, wow. How long of a train can I make of my one card? You know, how does your luck work?
There you go. There you go. So get your cards out at all events ASAP. And when I say all events, I'm talking all events for this weekend. Don't just do it in where we are now in Flagstaff. Get them out for every other event that's going on this weekend as well. So
and I will say, because obviously it's like, well, it's the end of the month and I don't want to put cards out because I've already got all my points for clans. Cool. Got it. Sure. No problem. This is a test. This is a test for us to see and make sure that this works properly. It's because we've already tested it behind the scenes. We want to see this is a response test. We're possibly going to let me run wild and throw a couple of other types out there quietly in the shadows, which is something that I enjoy doing. See about that over the next week or two. And then, assuming all goes well, have an actual announcement about another opportunity for this in June.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, there's a big weekend coming up in June.
There's a big weekend coming up in June. A big weekend. And if you don't know what the big weekend is, guys, go have a listen to the previous episode of this podcast, and you'll hear all about it as well, because there's double points on everything. Meanwhile, Rob, people need to actually get their events in as well for that if they want that weekend. It's going to be a big weekend. Let's be honest. It's going to be huge. It's going to be, I'm going to say it, the most events numbers should be technically this year at least, minimum, because of this big weekend coming up. So make sure you get your events in ASAP.
Oh, that sounds scary.
Lou's going to love me. She's the one who takes care of all the events. She does a great job, though. A big shout out to Lou as well.
Yeah.
And I have had a couple of people ask me in regards to hosting events, and I just say, Lou's, ask Lou. Just ask Lou. Don't ask me, ask Lou. She knows more than me. So there you go.
It's true.
Well, Rob, I'm not going to pester you anymore. There's no questions of the week for this week as well, unless our audience members...
Oh, wow. Danger.
Our audience members may have a question of the week at all. Who? Anyone? They're all quiet now. Not even a round of applause. Our audience members...
I have a question.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, my name is Joshua Johnson. I'm known as the GCV in the Munzee world, or the geocaching vlogger in the geocaching world. I would like to know why this podcast has never brought up the amazing podcast called Treasures of Our Town, which is about location-based games like Munzee and all the amazing places that it brings you. I'm wondering why that hasn't come up. Thank you. I will hang up and I'll listen to the answer.
That's perfect.
Do you want to answer that one, Rob, or do you want me?
One time, I think that many, many weeks ago, possibly even a couple of months ago, I think one time I'd said something about it, but I say I mess up treasures of our town and say like the, or I say it wrong almost every time. TOOT, treasures of our town.
Exactly.
I'm looking at it on your laptop.
It's on my computer, but we've got the caller back on the line again.
Oh, caller's back. Sorry.
I'm back. Thank you for answering the question. I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
When can I find the Treasures of Our Town podcast, and where can I find it? And when does it publish? Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'll hang up again.
Okay. One thing that I know is there will be a live recording of that special podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I will be in the audience and I will ask random questions as well, probably about the Munzee podcast. I will be there for that. Oh, the caller's back.
I'm back. That's great that you'll be there. I just want you to know we have a special screener for everybody that's going to be coming on. So there's no guarantee that you will be on the Treasures of Our Town podcast.
Oh.
Thank you. I'll hang up.
Well, that's fine. I'm like all of those normal call-in people where I can come up with something that will get me through the screen, and then I'll ask you whatever I feel like asking you. Anywho,
yes,
you guys are recording, so anyone who's listening to this and they're going to be at Geo Woodstock, you guys are recording at 2
p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Main stage at Geo Woodstock itself. We're both excited. The call-in person who's just on there, and myself are going to be there, and we have MinnesotaBoy as our screener person too. So he'll be in the audience with a screener. So he's our screener as well. So MinnesotaBoy. There you go.
Hey.
He's marking off. He's ticking off how many times we can say his name on the podcast.
So when, in order to make sure that the caller doesn't come back, what is the normal schedule for Treasures of Our Town? Because that was the question.
Yep. Exactly. The normal schedule itself is every second Monday it comes out. Treasures of Our Town. It can be heard on anywhere you listen to your podcast, whether it be Spotify or iTunes. You could even have or listen. You can watch on YouTube, Rob, but I wouldn't watch it because it's just a picture. You listen to it on YouTube, but you can listen to it at anywhere you normally get your podcasting from. And Treasures of Our Town, and with Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, and myself. You
guys haven't even sponsored me to say this, but I do enjoy your podcast. It is fun, and you've had several really good ones, and had a good time. And I even got to meet Dave Barsky from Dirty Jobs fame, and got to meet him at the event last night. I listened to him on your podcast and had messaged Craig and said, like, I want to meet him. And as I walked up to the event last night, that's who Craig was standing there talking to. So the first person that I meet at the geocaching event is Dave Barsky. And I was like, yes, this is so cool. Oh, man. So anyway.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Podcast. Thank you, caller. I'm so glad I could handle that kind of Munzee question of the week. That is my pleasure.
Oh, I thought you would.
Oh, wait. It was supposed to be about Munzee. That was not clear. I'm hanging up one more time.
We did say just a question of the week. We didn't say a Munzee question of the week. That's right. Well, Rob, just to let everyone know as well, next week on next week's podcast, you and I, you don't know about this yet.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, no, you don't, because I do a little bit of this podcasting thing. Next week, Rob, listen in. You must listen in, because you and I, Rob, it's going to be a special podcast, pretty much talking solely about this weekend, what fun we had, who we met, etc., as well. So we're going to do that for next week's show. Rob, what do you think about that?
That sounds good. Just edit out the part where I already told the people I met the coolest person, Dave Barsky. So
fair enough, mate. Exactly.
No, that's cool. That sounds like a lot of fun. We had a good time in Minnesota, and so we took a bit of time talking about that super cool clan that we hung out with. So
I know, right?
Let's see if anyone else is cool and wants to show us how cool they are by hanging out with us.
Exactly. So if you're listening to this podcast as it goes live on Friday, and Saturday is the actual big events, make sure you come up to Rob or myself and have a chat, and we'll go from there. We'll make sure we talk to you, ask them questions. Rob loves answering all the questions, and we'll go from there. So what do you reckon, Rob? Does that sound good?
That sounds fantastic. Let's do it.
Well, Rob, there you go, mate. This ends another official Munzee podcast.
Thanks for joining us on this Munzee adventure.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting app. And as always, join us next week for another informative/fun episode. We won't have the call in next week, Rob. We won't have the call in.
Maybe. And remember, Munzee is more than a game. It's a worldwide community of mobile game players.
So keep scanning, keep discovering, and keep that Munzee spirit alive. Audience 1, 2, 3.
Munzee on! Munzee on!
Minnesota boy.
Yes, Minnesota boys.
Munzee on.